just the exchange losses alone. If I should go into their operating costs, if I should ask them to break down the 134 million for me, you will see some things that will surprise you. So it's not just about the exchange losses, but there are other expenditures that are in there that ought not to be there. You sat here and told us how you are helping Ghana Digital Center to reduce their expenditure, because they usually would have flown 6 people for just one event with one person. So these are the other things that we should be looking at, because tomorrow, if we should see this thing, what are you also going to say? Is the same forex losses? No, but there are other equally important things that I believe we should spend some time to help them with, like you are helping GDCL, help them with, and that should help them reduce their expenditure. The fact that they make more revenue doesn't mean we should spend. So that's a note of caution to Minister, your agencies.
MD,
yes.
This is advice from the chair through me to you. You are guided. You want to take it as policy position. All right. Let's go to the infractions. Unretired impress of 59,877. Have we retired this impress? Has been retired and submitted to the Auditor General for verification in May 2025. Auditors, could you confirm, please?
Honorable Chair, we can confirm that the impress has been retired. Thank you.
Thank you. The next infraction is on paragraph 953, and Honorable Akwesi Kunedu will handle that one.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, this infraction has to do with the renovation of Bekwai Post Office. And the auditors found that you did not seek concurrent approval for a variation of about 34,743 Ghana cedis. And they recommended that you seek that approval. Has that been done?
That was done and submitted. It was done. The variation was done. It was ratified by the Entity Tender Committee during its meeting on the 16th of November 2024, and that has been submitted to the Auditor General for verification.
Auditors, can you please confirm for us if that has been done?
Honorable Chair, the variation was subsequently ratified by the ETC. Thank you.
All right. The next infraction is on paragraph 958, and Honorable Shirley Che will take care of that one.
Thank you. This is to do with procurements not executed through Ghana Electronic Procurement System. And our Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, public corporations and state-owned entities are to maintain good governance and management practices. The Public Procurement Authority reference letter PPA CEO 10/2491/23 made it mandatory for covered entities and state-owned enterprises to use the Ghana Electronic Procurement Systems for all government procurements. Now the question is, why did you choose not to use the Ghana Procurement Electronic Systems in transactions totaling over 7 million Ghana cedis?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the Ghana Post operates in a very competitive area, and for that reason, we have in our hands here evidence of exemption by the Public Procurement Authority from us using the GANEPS for procurement. I have in my hand here a letter dated 21st February 2023, signed by the Chief Executive, Mr. Frank Mante, and let me just read paragraph 4. Approval is hereby conveyed for the exclusion of Ghana Post Company Limited from applying the public procurement procedures in its operation, subject to meeting the board requirement below. And then the full letter is here. And then I also have here, dated Wednesday, 9th July 2025, the Gazette of that exemption. So because we have that exemption, they will not be running their procurements through GANEPS. Thank you.
But
That information.
Sorry, a copy has been shared with the Auditor General.
so is there a reason why the auditors were not informed or were not given a copy of this letter?
At the time the audit was done, even though the approval had been given, it had not been gazetted. And so that's why we see, I said the letter was 21st February 2023, but the Gazette is dated 9th of July 2025. The new management was the one that did the Gazette. And so that's why at the time the audit was done, there was no Gazette to show to them.
Okay, good enough explanation, but I don't see how you are walking through an alleyway, there is light in one and there's darkness in one, and you choose to walk through darkness. I mean, what would be the consequence for practicing good governance? And I don't know why you were given that exemption. But I think the auditors recommended that you comply going forward. So can you give us an update if you've started complying?
Honorable Chair, we are not walking in any darkness. We are walking in light. The Ghana Post Company Limited has its own procurement manual approved by the PPA. So it's not the Wild West where procurements are just happening in any way. No. There's a specialized manual because, like I said, they operate against, the Ghana Post is operating against all the private courier companies that you see in the country. They don't, if Ghana Post was bidding, for example, the passport job, they went into that as a competitive bid with all the private entities who went in there. It would then mean that they will have to go through PPA and get commencement authorization and all the things that we're talking about today. That's why the PPA, in its wisdom, developed its procurement manual for it. And so it's not as though it's a murky ground where there's no transparency. It's guided by the PPA's own procedure. And the board ratifies, yes.
So my question was, you are meant to comply going forward. That's what management's response to the auditors was, that you were going to seek clarification and then start complying. So can you inform the committee if you started complying?
Yes, Chair. That compliance is evidenced by the Gazette notice that we have done, dated 9th of July 2025.
Thank you very much.
All right. The next question. The next infraction is going to ask you why you didn't gazette it. And,
Ghana Post, you were given exemption from GANEP, from the use of GANEP, but you failed to publish that exemption. Why?
Honorable Abina says I should say that it's a continuum. So it's a continuum. We take responsibility for it, and we are sure that that's part of the reason why there was a change in government. Thank you.
The auditors...
Is that the answer to his question, or he did not ask you any question?
I asked why they failed to publish the exemption granted them by the National by the Public Procurement Authority. That is the question.
That was the question.
Yes.
Yes, but Minister, some of these things, when the public servants fail to do what is required of them, let's not hide behind the politicians and say, oh, this or that. Clearly, this is not something a minister will even do. You, the head or the procurement director or whoever, you are supposed to do those things. So it has nothing to do with government doing this or government not doing that. The person who was supposed to do it should have done it. So, Minister, this is not this or that, but it's when the public officers are supposed to do something, they ought to do it. When the politicians are also supposed to do something, then we also ought to do it and take responsibility as such. I mean, that's fair.
I'm fully in agreement with you, Honorable Chair. It's just that when the public servants mess up, they blame us. But we also, when they do it right, we also take the funds. So the buck stops with us. And I believe that as political appointees, we also have a responsibility of some sort to exercise oversight over the public servants who we oversee. So I think it's just managing that fine balance. Thank you.
Mr. Minister, has that been done so far?
Yes, please. We've stated earlier that we have done the Gazette. The able management at Ghana Post has done the Gazette dated Wednesday, 9th July 2025. So that's been done.
Can you confirm that?
Honorable Chair, we'll be pleased to have a copy of the Gazette. When we did a follow-up, what we had was a letter from PPA giving them exemption. But we are yet to cite the Gazette. Thank you.
Yes, I do have the Gazette, the copy of the...
Chairman, you know that this minister, because he's a former member of this committee, always comes prepared. I don't want to be in the position the chair was in here some time back. So I came prepared. I have my Gazette here. So please, clerk, come and take the Gazette and give to...
Right, thank you. Mr. Chairman, that is it.
You have to wait for us to tell you whether you came well prepared or not. You don't tell yourself you came well prepared. Just take your time, finish with the proceedings. If we are satisfied with your conduct, then we will say, yes, you came very well prepared and you have delivered. So, Wajidi?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Hello. Okay, the next infraction is on paragraph 969, and Honorable Frankie Eboa will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chairman. And this one is on failure to account for strategic partnership operations. Paragraph 969. And Chairman, with your leave, I want to read Section 11 of the Audit Service Act 2000, Act 584. which states that the Auditor General or any person authorized or appointed for the purpose by the Auditor General shall have access to all books, records, returns, and other documents, including documents in computerized and electronic form relating to or relevant to those accounts. So with that in mind, Minister, this one, I want to advise that you allow the public servants to also come in as well, because this one can be something that will be continuing. So Ghana Post entered into an agreement with a company called Collins C Investment Limited in March 2020 for the procurement, installation, maintenance, and management of their mail and parcel boxes. They opened an account at Car Bank. What I mean by they opened an account is the company, Collins C Investment Limited, opened an account at Car Bank to pay the revenue collected into that account. When the auditors came to do their audit, they asked for profit, the details of the profit generated, revenue, expenditure, and the bank statement of that particular account with Car Bank. And according to the auditors, you failed to provide that information. So they recommended that you provide that information, and failing to do so will mean that you have to be sanctioned under Section 33 of the Audit Service Act. So what's the current status of the auditor's recommendation?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We have proceeded to terminate the contract because Collins T was unresponsive, and I hold in my hands here a letter dated 17th June 2025, signed by the MD for Ghana Post. The heading is Notice of Termination of Contract. And so we terminated that contract on the 17th of June, and then proceeded again on the 12th of September 2025 to give notice to the company to recover all customer information that was in the possession of the company. So currently, the company has no contractual engagement with Ghana Post, and Ghana Post is following up with their lawyers to see if there are any funds, apart from the customer data that we've recovered, if there are any funds that are due us, to ensure that through the right legal processes, we retrieve all of those funds.
Okay, thank you, Minister. But did this contract come with performance security?
No, there was no performance security assigned to the contract. There was no performance security assigned to the contract.
Thank you, Minister. Mr. Chairman, I'm done. Thank you.
All right. Now, the next infraction is on paragraph 976. And Honorable Sebastian Day will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chairman. The next infraction actually borders on non-documentation of assets of the Ghana Post. And it's Section 52 of the PFM Act 2016, Act 921 to be specific, states that the principal spending officer shall maintain a register of lands, buildings, and other assets under the control and possession of the principal spending officer. And I believe in this case that's Mrs. Straha, is it? However, the auditor in the audit process of 2023 and detected or noted during the inspection that the company, Ghana Post, they don't have ownership documents or land title certificates for 3 parcels of land and 241 of your post offices. The details of the land, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Chairman, include the Bubuashi office.
Chair, I would respectfully make the plea that we do not mention the specific locations. Reason being that you put it out and then you can have encroachers go in there. So we know the 3 locations. Okay. So I'll plead that you stay away from.
So 3 locations and then 241 post offices.
Minister, I agree with you because the one in Greater Accra, I'm interested in it.
Minister, thanks for that prompt. But the fact remains that 241 of our post offices do not have land title certificates or proper documentation. Now, the auditor's recommendation for this is to this effect, that you must take the necessary steps to prevent or to ensure that documents are proper to prevent any litigation. My question is, what is the status?
Thank you very much, Chair. And I'm grateful to the Chair and the committee for obliging my request to leave the existing locations, because even in one of the locations, we're currently dealing with encroachments there. You don't want to have a lot more people go and encroach before you complete. But what I can state on the record is that we have started all the processes for regularization of the documents. Cadastral plans have been prepared and submitted to the Lands Commission. They have acknowledged same. They are preparing the bills for us on one of the parcels. And one of the other parcels, they are actually giving us a bill. The bill was about 1 million Ghana cedis. We wrote back to the Lands Commission asking for a downward review. They gave us a 25% downward review. And so the company is in the process of raising the funds to pay, because some of these lands are huge parcels. And so when you look at the costs from the Lands Commission, again, we are minded not to just dump all of that immediately into 1 year's financial expenditure. So we are trying to regularize them. The other one, we have a 45-year sublease from the grantor. I'm sure that's the land the chairman says he was very interested in. We have a 45-year lease from the grantor. We have paid, we've made a down payment that is almost 75% of what they are asking for. And that again is even forex denominated. So we've done substantial work to secure the lands. Now, on the post offices, 241 of them, they are littered across the country. And so the company has started an assets register an asset registry basically, and is taking stock of the locations and the conditions and situations of all the various titles, because some of them, they started the process, it wasn't completed, some nothing at all has been done. So they're in different stages, so that we can then engage the Lands Commission as one state agency to another to see how well we can stagger the payment for regularization. Because if we were to regularize all of these lands in 1 year, we'll be spending in excess of 100 million Ghana cedis, which would basically bankrupt the company. So, but we would want to start the process and work with the Lands Commission to stagger the payment over a number of years. But work is actively underway to ensure that we secure all of our assets.
All right. Thank you very much. The next infraction is on paragraph 981. Did you check out from the auditors?
Well, the minister did indicate that they are in the process of doing it, and I think that his answers were satisfactory. But the auditors can buttress what he has said.
Yes, Honorable Chair, they've taken steps to register their land. The documents that we have perused, they have taken the concrete steps in registering their lands. Thank you.
All right. The next infraction is on paragraph 981, and Honorable Cletus will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, this infraction is on unaccounted revenue, 18,275 Ghana cedis. Mr. Chairman, under the audit review, some revenue were collected and then banked with the Ghana Post account, leaving an amount of 18,274 Ghana cedis. I want to find out from the minister whether this money has been refunded, because the auditors recommended that the said amount should be collected from the officers involved. May I know from the minister whether that has been done?
Mr. Chair, we have banked all the revenue, but let me just make a point here to help the auditors and the committee. Part of the reason why you have some of these instances where the revenue is not banked immediately is when you look at where the post office is and where the nearest bank is and the revenue that comes in a day. If they were to bank the revenue every day, they may end up using 80% of the revenue as transportation to the bank and back. So some of them, there are varying banking practices. Some do a daily banking, some do a weekly, some even do a monthly. In this particular case, we have submitted to the auditors the full records of the banking to show that all the unaccounted for revenue have been banked. But this is what occasions the delays in some of the bankings.
Minister, what do you recommend in such situation?
Well, we recommend that the auditors bear this in mind when they go into some of the locations, because if you go there and it appears as though, I'm sure if you went to my deputy's constituency, if you have to leave Golu to Tumu every day to go and bank, how much does the post office generate? So we would have to find a way with the auditors to explain the peculiarity of every post office to them. But right now, what we have done is to show evidence that all the revenue has been accounted for, and I'm sure you can verify from the auditors.
My last one, Minister. I want you to help this committee. It's not this matter or this issue is just not about your outfit. It has come to this platform a number of times. How about if you hear that the revenue collector kept the money in the house and they've stolen the money? How about that?
Well, that is a real challenge to the situation that we have. The question will be, do we want to use digital money solutions? So take, for example, if the lodgement for the day is done, will you go to a mobile money operator and then deposit it into a wallet and transfer into Ghana, in this case, Ghana Post bank account? Now, the question you should ask yourself is, there are going to be bank charges with the related movements. that would also have to be factored into all of this, because you can't expect the staff to bear the cost of this. But I think that if we want to deal with this, we can give a directive that says that no matter what it is, at the end of the day, go and deposit it into a mobile wallet and transfer to the bank digitally. But then it then means that, you see, the issue with bank charges is when I go to a traditional bank to do a transaction and there are bank charges, when you print out the bank statement, you see all the bank charges in there for auditors to be able to verify. When you do mobile money transfers using an agent, you will not be able to generate the charges bits in a ledger form that is unique to just that entity, except we then decide that we want to now create vendor SIMs for every post office that will only be used for the financial transaction of that post office. That may be the only way by which you may then be able to say that, so if it is Telecel cash or AT cash or MTN cash, when they come, you then request from the telecom company the printout of that vendor SIM, which is used only for that transaction. But there are nuances to these things, and so we must be careful not to cut our nose to spite our face.
Thank you so much. Good explanation. Auditors, can you confirm that the money has been collected?
Yes, Honorable Chair, the amount has been banked.
All right, the next infraction is on paragraph 986, and Honorable Ahinkwa will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, this infraction is on unaccounted revenue totaling 136,000 Ghana cedis. The audit report disclosed that post offices within Accra West region of the company did not account for revenue totaling 136,000 generated from general operations and other internal generated funds. The head of Accra West region explained that the irregularity occurred as a result of delay in release of operational funds to the various post offices. As a result, payment for operational expenditure were made out of the gross revenue collected by the various post offices. The auditors made the following 3 recommendations. 1, that management should recover the unaccounted revenue of the 136,000 from the staff involved. 2, that management should ensure that all revenue collected from the various post offices are promptly deposited in the gross company's revenue account without disbursement. And the 3rd one, management should ensure that operational funds are released to the various regional offices in a timely manner to avoid direct disbursement from the daily sales revenue. Before I have 3 questions. Who is responsible for the release of the operational funds to the various post offices?
Head office
might have accounted
head
for...
office. Head office is responsible.
So what was the challenge?
Okay, so Chair, in responding to this whole, the Accra West Regional District, Accra West Regional District oversees 14 post offices: Kaneshi or Doko, Dansoman Estate, Dansoman Community, Dakuman, STC, Abosiokai. It oversees 26, but there are 14 that have the issue. Abosiokai, Malam, Niboyman, Weja, Kolibu, Odupongpehe, Kaswanyanyano, and Abeka. Now, the challenge you have is that previously releases were not going on time for operational expenditure to the various district offices. So what then happens is, once the release has not been made from head office, the post offices still need to carry out their daily operations. And so for whatever revenue they get, they hold some to carry out the operational expenditures, awaiting the release from head office. When head office finally makes the receipts, then they go and do the settlements in the bank. I can assure you that under this new dispensation, that's not the case. Releases are going on time, monthly, and so there is no justification for anybody to, especially in urban areas where you don't have the challenges we just discussed with the previous question, where banking distance occasions them to hold the funds for like a week or a month. In urban areas like Accra, nobody has that excuse to hold the funds anymore. We're making sure that the funds go when they have to go, they get their operational expenditure. And so this thing, they call it firm receipts. The staff people, they have a title name for it, I've just been told, they call it firm receipts. The issue of firm receipts is no longer an issue in part of our operations now, because funds go regularly. And then with respect to the issues that have been raised in the Auditor General's report, all of those have been settled. We've submitted claims to and evidence to the auditors for verification.
Auditors, can you verify or authenticate their claims?
Yes, Honorable Chair, we'll be pleased to have the documents if you have it. Because, yes, we have not seen it.
We'll run a copy, because these are originals. We'll run a copy and then submit same to you. So we have the originals here, but we'll just run copies for the audit service.
All right, the next infraction is on paragraph 993, and Honorable Desmond Paytu would handle them.
Thank you, Chair. Minister, this infraction is about unaccounted revenue, a total of 45,136.10, which affected 4 stations, Ejuso, YEW, Kumasi, Konongo, and Agogo. And auditors were saying that such money should be recovered and paid same to the appropriate accounts. So I want to find out whether the money has been recovered and paid same to the account duly. Thank you.
Chairman, recovery has been made, payment has been made, evidence has been shared with the Auditor General. Thank you.
Auditors, we would like you to confirm whether the payment has been done.
Yes, Honorable Chair, we can confirm that that has been done.
Chair, I think that is all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next infraction is on paragraph 1000, and Honorable Nasser will take care of that one.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Minister, these unsupported payments in your Western Region office, I would just like to find out if the CEO has been able to provide the relevant documents to the auditors to support the payments of about 69,000 of taxpayers' money. 1,000.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Chair, we have honorary receipts from the head, which we have shared with the auditors, covering the full amount from the head of the Western Regional Office.
Auditors, please can you confirm the claim by the Minister?
Yes, Honorable Chair, the payments have been supported. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. You and your team, you are discharged. Now we call...
Minister, I'll give you 70 over 100.
Chairman.
That is an A.
Are we overruling this question?
Well done.
Minister of Defense, please.
Some substantive question. It was here, but listed, but it's overruled.